Yes. Well, that Russian folk music is a bit of a hint as to where our usual host, James Cleary, is today. Mm-hmm. But you've got me, Richard Berry, and I'm joined by our esteemed editor of CarsGuide, Malcolm Flynn.
G'day.
And the senior editor, M4.
Hello.
Matthew Campbell.
Thank you.
Now, or Matt, as he likes to be known.
Yeah.
That's right, M4. So hello and welcome to the CarsGuide Podcast, where we tear down, pressure test and rebuild the automotive issues of the week. I've introduced who we've got already, and now we've got a very fast car podcast for you. We're going to be covering Australia's latest members of the police force, South Australia's ZB Commodores. There's the new Bugatti Divo, not joining the South Australian police force, but one way to get away from them. We're looking at Supra. We're going to Goodwood. It's just started. It's as you're watching us right now, Goodwood's taking place. There are cars racing up a hill with only hay bales protecting people watching.
God.
Something very special is going to be appearing there. It's the Supra. We'll also be talking about...
Surprise!
Oh, yeah. That's it. That's the CarsGuide Podcast. We'll also be talking about what's been in our garage. We've been driving a whole bevy of fast things and slow things.
Yeah.
But first of all, Musquatch. Oh, Elon.
Oh.
Yes.
Busy week?
Very busy week. We've had the boys in the cave, the Thai boys.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yep. They got out without Elon's help. He sent a submarine. It was basically a metal tube that would fit one child in at a time.
Right.
And Thailand said no, they didn't want to.
Did they ask for that, or did he just go, I'm going to take a PR advantage here? And
No, he just turned up with his tube and he left it there.
Isn't he just ripping off James Cameron? Or the Beatles, even?
What do you mean with music, from a music perspective? Or
Well, James Cameron does little submarines these days, doesn't he?
What? Are you talking Yellow Submarine?
The Titanic? Well, I was, but I've moved back to James Cameron now.
God.
Anyway, he didn't save the Thai boys.
He didn't. Look, they didn't.
He said he was going to. He said he could, and he didn't.
He didn't need any help at all. They didn't need any help at all.
They got them all out, thank goodness.
But to be clear, his suggested solution was to...
Put them in a small submarine,
Right.
and send them out.
a cave submarine.
A cave submarine.
Mm.
I was surprised he didn't say we'll bore them out.
Well, what by telling them, Tesla stories until they were like, we're going to come out. We're going to
do this in 2021, and then we're going to do this in 2022.
This many of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, to his credit, he and his engineers did, test it out in a swimming pool, and it seemed to work. Didn't leak. But the Thai authorities had it completely under control. They said thanks, but no thanks. And he left, and he just left it in the cave just in case they needed it. But anyway.
It actually made it to the cave.
Yeah.
Did he go there?
He went there.
So
He
not
tweeted.
only is he creating space junk with the Roadster in space, he's now got cave junk.
Yeah, totally. He went to Thailand. He tweeted. One of his tweets was, Thailand is beautiful.
Oh, wow. How good's that?
He visited the cave.
So is he... This might be a good segue into our next point about Mr. Musk. Is he playing God a little bit?
I think he does think he's God.
Yeah.
And it's funny you should say that, M4, because there has been a special type of survey that's been done in the US where the University of North Carolina surveyed 511 American Christians to create an electronic facial identification of God. Now, they asked these 511 people, what do you think God looks like? And the image that they came up with... From the
Wasn't Morgan Freeman.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
I would love it.
Or
Morgan
Whoopi
Freeman
Goldberg,
was
I think, was God at one
Whoopi
stage.
Goldberg.
Yeah.
That would be great too. No, believe it or
Kenny
not.
Rogers? Nope.
Oh, Dolly.
Or Dolly.
This is the image they came up with. I'll show you on the right. But a lot of people are saying it looks a lot like Elon Musk.
Yes.
What do you think?
So it's it's a mass Christian identikit of Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
See, I think
as
it's probably more to do with the fact that this guy here, Elon Musk, is in the media a lot these days, and people know that face now. And if you didn't know who Elon Musk was, you'd probably look at that and go, it's kind of got a bit of Brad Pitt about it, like it's just an association thing.
Yeah.
But fair point. To me, it looks like Elon Musk.
So it's God.
Propaganda?
Yeah.
Elon Musk with bed hair, maybe.
Oh, well.
I
I'd
reckon
like to see that.
God would have bed hair all the time.
Would he?
Does God spend a lot of time in... That's another podcast.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We won't get into that.
Anyway, that's Elon and God.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now, look, we have checked the Bloomberg tracker, and Model 3 is currently tracking at 4,033 vehicles.
And
week,
that is down a little bit compared to last week. They
What
were
was
at
last week?
44.92, I think.
So they've
Down.
disassembled some cars?
Could be.
No, mate, they got a hole in the tent. So bad weather and people have had to duck for cover. And
Seriously?
No.
You're making it up.
I
Just,
thought, 'cause is it literally a tent?
it's a tent.
It's
really
a
a
big
tent.
circus tent.
It's
It's like Cirque du Soleil's cast off, but evidently it's huge. 'cause
Yeah.
They've got a car factory inside.
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
not really a tent. It's more a
Marquee.
disassemblable, movable building.
Oh,
Would it be
my
like
God.
Audi's stand at the Frankfurt Motor Show?
What was that?
It'd be less
Temporary
expensive.
building.
It'd be less
The whole
expensive.
building. Yeah,
It's bound
yeah.
to be less expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, talking of
I had
cars,
to Google this thing.
talking of cars which are actually being built and being used, the South Australian Police Force has just taken delivery
They have.
of its brand new ZB Commodore. It's a fully imported ZB Commodore. New South Wales has gone for Chryslers and Beamers. South Australia, Matt, you're the resident expert on this. Is South Australia the only
So far.
police department to pick them up?
So far. So, everyone's asking, is the new Commodore up to the task? And, the big test, I think, one of the big tests would be, has been whether the police would take it on. And South Australian police have done so. And South Australia's been known to be a little bit, not quite patriotic, but Holden-otic maybe, because they used to build them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, they've bought 100 of them. They're all RS V6 all-wheel drives, which make 235 kilowatts. Not quite the 304 kilowatts made by the outgoing Australian-built 6.2 litre V8 SSs. But yeah, they're off and running. They've passed their tests. They're yet to pass the New South Wales tests, so that'll be the big one.
But the big problem with New South Wales, I think we mentioned this last week, I think is
The
that...
state in general.
Oh,
Just
no, New South Wales police
Yeah.
driver training is the exact thing I'm getting at. They didn't want to retrain the highway patrol people to drive all-wheel drive cars or front-wheel drive cars because they handle and behave differently to the rear-wheel drive cars that they're used to, which is why they've gone with the two rear-wheel drives they've got, the BMW 5 Series 530D and the Chrysler SRT. So,
Which is amazing because we would think you'd simply want something that could chase baddies better.
yeah, but this is and we talked about this last week as well, but do you need to chase baddies these days because it can cause more problems than it solves?
Yep.
And I mean, sure, you need a bit of zest to get off the line if you're chasing someone who's doing 135 on the M4 and you've got to get them.
Yeah.
But surely an all-wheel drive car is not going to behave that much differently in a straight line acceleration.
Well,
Okay.
the New South Wales police have gone for 350 kilowatt 300 SRTs.
Yeah.
So they seem to agree.
I spend a lot of Friday nights just having a quiet beer watching police chases on YouTube. And I
was waiting
feel,
for Motorway Patrol.
I feel like
New Zealand. That's Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's Saturday night. I feel like I've seen a bit of action. And I've got to be honest, none of them end well. Like to your point, Matt, why are we chasing them when you can just radio ahead and say they're on their way?
Yeah.
They're coming down the
If you're on a
Prince's Line.
major arterial road, there is no reason to chase.
No.
I'm not a robber that outruns the cops all the time or anything like that. But I think that it puts more lives in danger
Does.
than it potentially saves. So,
No argument there.
yeah. Anyway, on that somber note,
As much as we like the sound of really fast police cars. That
what
Yeah.
about the
possibly
liveries?
buy cheaply one day used.
What about the liveries though? Like the South Australian Police livery, I don't know if it's
Pretty
just
good.
I don't know if it's just the photos, but I thought it could look a little bit more special. But
Those Queensland Stingers were terrible.
yeah,
That was the
That was
lamest
very
police
half-assed.
livery.
Like the
Yeah.
slapped grid paper all over it.
Yeah, it was.
Boring fonts.
Maths textbook paper.
Get to work, Queensland Police.
New South Wales
Get
though
some
I think
graphic
has
design.
has really moved the game on in terms of
We have got the best designers
Yeah.
for liveries.
You know who else is pretty slick? ACT.
yeah.
Yes.
They've got, big wavy
Yeah.
blue and
Yeah.
white checks
They've got
down the
it's
side.
terrifying. You see an ACT highway patrol car, you stop. Because
I was going to say emotive, but terrifying. Yeah.
What about is the Northern Territory? Do they still wear khaki
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shorts.
and shorts?
Yeah. And the Hiluxes still have a cage on the back with a tent around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's-
But
Yeah.
it's cheaper than air conditioning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyway, so we should also mention that Queensland's signed up for 50 Stingers, all V6, 272 kilowatts. So they also agree with the idea of a fast police car. But I've now seen 2 of the 530Ds in New South Wales with only 195 kilowatts. It's pretty amazing to see a BMW wearing lights.
But we know that diesels are about torque, and they smack.
Right. They can resist slowing down on hills.
Yeah, I guess that's an advantage.
Talking of
on Lapston Hill, it would be.
Yeah.
Talking of
not local reference there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to segue into our next topic.
Sorry.
Talking of not slowing down at all, Bugatti has announced the Divo, Divo. It's named out of Alberto Divo.
Not an 80s pop group.
No,
with funny
not
hats.
Divo, and not Divo, the heavy metal singer as well.
Is that Il Divo or is that an opera singer?
That's an opera singer, I think.
None of those Divos.
Yeah.
Alberto. Yeah, Alberto
I've got
Divo.
Robert. Anyway.
Now, apparently, the Bugatti claimed that this Bugatti is different. Bugattis in the past, Veyron, Chiron, have been famed for their straight line speed. The Divo apparently is going to be able to go around corners. And
wow.
The best,
unlike a train.
The quote of the year, and like seriously, if they weren't Bugatti already, they'd win the CarsGuide Ferrari, because we're giving this away, this CarsGuide podcast as well, to the best comment. But talking of comments, this is fantastic. The Bugatti president, Stefan Winkleman, says, "Happiness is not around the corner, it is the corner. The Divo is made for corners."
My question to that is the Divo like a pinball? Or a marble or a ball? Because they're made for corners. They're really good at rolling around corners.
Well, look,
I didn't say it was going to roll around corners.
Yeah.
I hope it's not going to roll.
Oh, it won't roll. There's no way it'll roll. It's actually a roller coaster, this Divo. It's going to handle like it's on rails. So
maybe it is going to be a train.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars to buy. Only 40 odd are being made. A W16 quad turbocharged engine producing 1,118 kilowatts
at least
1,600 newton meters at least. That's insane.
Yeah.
We drove some fast cars this week and they seemed ridiculous in terms of their power outputs. How's that going to work? That's just insane.
Now, I don't want to go too far off the edge here, but those scamps at Oversteer have published a story about a Renault Sport Special Edition that has 2,550 newton meters of torque.
Oh, I saw that headline as well, and I read the story.
Yeah.
And as soon as I worked out what it was, I was like,
spoiler,
bastards.
It's a truck.
It's a truck.
But
do you know, when I saw that on the screen, I thought, they've made a mistake. And he's put
J3's fallen asleep on the zero
too
button.
Many zeros in the newton meters. And I actually jumped into his computer. I was like, I've got to fix this. And I scrolled down and I saw the truck. And I was like, okay.
So,
who wrote it? I haven't seen it yet.
Was it J3?
Yeah.
J3. Good old J3.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
James Lyle also.
A lot of promise. Yeah.
But back to the Bugatti.
Yes.
So 40 of them.
Which is a lot for Bugatti.
Yeah, well,
it's a lot of Chirons.
The Veyron only did a 300 production run or something, didn't it?
Something like that.
And I think,
over like 10 years.
And I think Chiron's going to be fairly limited as well. So this speaks to Stefan Winkleman, formerly of Audi Performance and Lamborghini.
Yep.
Him coming in there and saying, all right, well, this is great. We've got a Chiron, but let's do something that's actually good. So hopefully it is actually good and not just fast.
Look, fingers crossed.
Good.
I mean, that fast is good, but fast around corners is also good.
Yeah.
Look, we don't know what it looks like at the moment. They've teased an image of, a
seat fabric.
Is that seat fabric?
Seat fabric and
it's
what
difficult. It's
like when
you
you have
see a
Alcantara.
photo.
Surprise!
Yeah.
It's like when you see a photo of someone's elbow and they go, name the body part. That's how I feel. Am I looking at its wheel arch or am I looking at its...
Could be
if it's
anything.
got Alcantara wheel arches,
maybe
that'll be something different.
I mean,
Silky.
The fact that they're talking so much about corners means that it's probably going to be aerodynamically very advanced. So we might see something like that Zenvo thing with the wing that will go from side to side around corners to help downward pressure and stuff.
You're right, because there's a lack of side spoilers on cars these days.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
You
mean?
mean like Speedway style?
Yeah, like when it pops up like that to stop it from flipping over. Yeah, yeah,
Complete lack.
yeah, yeah.
Should be more of that.
Yeah.
Pedestrian protection.
So we should say that the what's it called?
The Divo.
The Divo, the non-flower pot Divo, will be revealed at Monterey
That's right.
at the Quail Show in August,
Yep.
24th, I think.
Yep,
The Quail Show?
that's right.
Do they?
It's not the Quail Show. It's Quail.
Is that the small birds?
It's spelled the same as the
it's
bird.
spelt like the bird. It's
What
not
is
the
it?
bird.
It's one of the shows at Monterey. You know, Monterey
Yeah.
Wonderful Week,
Yes.
part of which is Pebble Beach, etc., etc.,
Right.
and the Laguna Seca historic action.
Right.
And there's the well, I thought Pebble Beach was the pinnacle, but
Yeah.
Quail is another pinnacle if you
Okay.
get too.
There's a lot of pinnacles.
Yeah, and it's invite only, and
Okay.
when you
So
got to
what-
dress up
very
for it,
exclusive.
there's a
Have
dress
we
code.
got an invite?
I think Frosty
Only.
was invited, but he's fobbed them off.
He is invited to everything. Yeah.
We'll get to him later.
Now, talking of limited edition very fast cars, but not quite as exclusive as a Bugatti Divo.
Close.
It's close though. Audi are doing a special edition of their R8. It's got a ridiculous name. The R8 Sport Performance Parts 2019.
Geez, doesn't that roll off the tongue?
I think it sounds like a section in Super Cheap.
Yeah.
Paint, audio,
Yeah.
performance parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
And come on, Audi. It's
Look.
not like Plus or RWS, which
Yeah.
sounds like a bottle-o, but
Yeah.
I think performance parts is the least exciting yet.
Same power, same torque, 449 kilowatts, 560 newton meters, but the difference is aero.
Yep.
Apparently, the new aero produces 52 kilograms of downforce, which is double the amount of the last one.
At
Are we-
150.
Is this like chocolate? Do you know when you know how there used to just be Cadbury?
Right.
Sorry, bit of an ad, but you'd have your fruit and
You
nut.
mean
and
like
your
in the
dairy milk.
60s?
Yeah. Yeah, right. You'd have your dairy milk and you have your fruit and nut. Are we just like splintering off into all these different,
Is this the not celebration?
It's the Marvelous
the
collection.
Marvelous
Yeah,
collection.
it is. Is this what's happening to the car world?
Yes.
Where we have the same car, but
You don't
just
like
with a
Marvelous
different-
Creations?
I do. Of the
But-
popping bits.
Can't believe
But
that's in chocolate.
The thing is, like, only 44 will be made.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, is that 44 worldwide?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
globally.
UK is getting 5, so
And
we
that's-
might get 1.
We
Yep.
might get one or
If we
two,
get
right?
one.
Yep.
So, and it'll be $500,000.
That's right.
Here.
Which
Yep.
is not that much more than the current V10 Plus Coupe, which is 400. I think it's 440 for the convertible.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
the interesting thing about the R8 line that I've always thought ever since it came out was, does Audi need a supercar? Like, they could have, remember back years and years and years ago, TT was their performance car. That was their
That's right.
halo.
Yep. And they're also known for, the Quattros in rallying in the
Yeah.
early 80s.
Yeah.
That's where they made their name.
And so, do they need a hypercar? And they're also talking about doing a lesser version of the R8, or hypercar, I said before, but supercar, I guess, is the better term.
Yep.
With a 2.9 litre twin turbo 6, the same engine that is in the RS4, RS5, and so on.
Panamera, Cayenne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's well shared.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what, though? This second generation R8 arrived as V10 only. No V8, whereas the previous one was V8 first, and eventually the V10 came. Is this V6 going to be the V8
Equivalent.
of the second generation?
Yeah.
And it'll probably make more power and probably be a better car. But
It's the same thing like
Do they need it?
when we saw the RS4 go in this generation to a downsized engine with more, the same amount of power, but heaps more torque. And that's, I guess, the more usable part of the drivetrain anyway. So you can get better acceleration and that sort of stuff. And it's going to be probably a lot quicker than the entry-level R8 was before, and it'll be more affordable. But
That's what I was going to say. It's actually now provides another access point into the brand or into that car for people who can't afford a full fat R8.
But can you imagine being the guy or the girl who goes in and gets the cheap R8? Like,
be like the 4-cylinder Mustang, the EcoBoost,
Is
or
that-
the 6,
is
or the
that
V6
not, Is that
Monaro.
not like the C43 and the C63 where you've got like the watered down version?
Which I think they're great, but
Mm.
don't think that many people are buying them
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
That's my judging by motorway traffic seat of the pants, not actual
What
figures.
you could see.
Now-
yeah, which is reality. Yeah,
I spent a lot of time doing it.
you do.
Before we started, we said we were going to play a game. I think now's the right time to play the game because
We can bring the game forward.
Can I just let our dear listeners and watchers in on this? I have no idea what Matt's talking about.
Pretty
but
sure-
Mal and Matt have both got a game and they want us to play. I
Well-
have no idea what's happening.
And I think Richard thinks it's going to involve someone with a moustache and a spinning wheel and
No.
spinning letters and stuff as well. Sorry, Beryl.
I was hoping for a moustache.
there's no donkey and there's no tail. But
What?
Tony Barber?
Hang on.
we were just talking about how the higher spec can be more appealing, for example.
Oh, don't give it away.
So-
what? What's happening?
So I asked
It's like an
because
episode,
I'm
a Black Mirror episode or something.
I'm midway through doing a Kia Stinger 2018 review, right? So looking at the different variants in the range and summing up which one I think will be the best in the range.
Because they've changed it a bit.
A
since they
bit.
launched
They've
it.
added some safety stuff. They've added some other stuff.
Added some price
Some price, yeah.
to the cheaper ones.
Kit Stinger.
So
Yes,
I got the sales figures for 2018 so far from
Okay.
Kia Australia,
Yeah.
and I asked them for a breakdown by model. And I want you guys to have a guess at what percentage the top spec GT has made up of all Stinger sales so far this year.
So how much is that again? That's expensive. That's like 64, 62 or something?
It's up there.
Yeah, 60 odd. And
Yep.
I think at launch they were expecting it to be 60.
Yeah.
GT was going to be 60% of all sales.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Which
Yep.
kind of makes sense. It was
But
a
you,
hero
I mean,
car and still pretty cheap for what it does.
you're a great supporter of the four-cylinder, saying that was more than enough.
For sure.
Yep.
But it's at the lesser end, it's pretty expensive. So it was 47, and I think
Yeah.
it's more now with the safety gear added. It was pretty expensive for a car that still had vinyl seats, effectively,
Yeah.
and at the time lacking important safety gear. But the 4 is a nice drive. Yeah, I
So-
think around town the 4 is the better car.
So
Alright.
what do you reckon? What do you think?
GT.
I don't think it's
percentage.
4. Sorry, Matt asked a question. We should answer it.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you
I think maybe 80%,
That's
based on
big.
what I've seen.
I reckon that's high.
Yeah.
I reckon 70%.
Okay.
Yeah.
The official number
Yeah.
Here we go.
is 92%.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
Really?
92% of people who are buying a Stinger are getting the GT.
Wow.
I've seen quite a few 330 SIs, which is the second tier V6
Yeah.
beneath the GT.
Yes.
Where does that come in?
You've restored my faith, Australia. I really thought you'd just
Okay.
opt out for the four-cylinder.
So
I'm really happy about
You
that.
might have been seeing the same 330 SI because there's only been 17 of them sold.
Really?
Yeah.
17 of
Wow.
what?
17 of the 330 SI, which is the second highest in the 3.3.
Yep.
That mustn't be counting the 50 in Queensland yet.
Uh,
Because I think
Oh,
the
the
330
police,
SI
Probably
police
not.
cars.
just
yeah.
call back to a previous topic.
They might come later on.
Righto.
But
But artificially inflate those
so
numbers.
let's have a bit more of a look at the breakdown of 3.3s. So 92% GT, 1.7% SI, and 2.2%
S.
is S. So
Because no one wants a V6 with a vinyl interior.
you're as good as 95% V6.
Wow.
So 5% is 2 litre. Is there a point having a Stinger 2 litre anymore?
Well, we were all pretty surprised when there were 6 variants for this niche product
Yeah.
on launch.
Yeah.
And good on Kia for just giving it all a go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
you know, like any business, they'll look to consolidate, I'm sure.
Yep.
Wouldn't be surprised if the full gets dropped based on
Yeah.
those numbers.
Yeah.
But it's a shame. It's a nice drive.
It is a nice drive and a decent value proposition as well in the lower specs.
Still runs on regular fuel.
Yep.
And 191 kilowatts.
Yeah.
It moves.
Yeah,
You've got to
it's a
spend a
quick-
lot of money to get that in an Audi.
Yeah, exactly.
And talking of moving, we do need to move along, and we've got a quick word from our sponsors, from the Winton Motor Company, the only sponsor of the CarsGuide podcast.
2 words from Winton to the 2018 competition. You lose. More thunder this year from the Aussie legend that's taken the performance world by storm. It's a piece of street art honed in a tough neighbourhood. Bathurst. Aero efficiency holds the Winton Turbo down, but nothing holds it back. Talk of the devil, the upgraded Redback 2-stroke V9 turbo now howls with even more power. and is backed up by an even smoother evolution of Winton's own torque tumbler transmission. There's a Winton for every purpose except standing still, and you deserve a car this good. The 2018 Winton Turbo. One look says a lot, one drive says it all.
Information not based on facts. Allow 6 to 8 months for delivery. Not intended for highway use. Store in a cool, dry place. Actual results may vary. Do not use if seal is broken. Dry clean only. Keep frozen until ready to use. Remember to dial before you dig.
Winton. Doesn't it warm the cockles?
Oh, yeah.
It's a small town. It's a dry town, but it's part of my cockle.
Where are your cockles? Where are the cockles?
Somewhere in the mid-torso.
Mid-torso, that's in the sort of the abdomen.
It's there.
Lower.
Look, basically, that is a really good move into the next question we've got to ask, and that is, where's James Cleary, our usual host? Now,
He's not tied up in the camera storage room.
He's not tied up in the camera storage room.
Not this week.
Not this week. It's not going to happen again. That was a mistake. No, you might remember that Frosty Chops, the head of PR for the Winton Motor Company, came back to Australia. They had a target of 5,000 turbos to hit by the end of the month. Now, Frosty being Frosty, got things done. He got Doug Field, who's the ex-technical officer or chief officer from the Tesla Motor Company, to come over. Well, he left, and Doug got it all under control. Now, Frosty's gone back over to Sochi for the final of the World Cup, and James Cleary's gone as his +1.
All his sucking up's paid off.
It has. He apparently wanted to talk to James about future products as well.
Right.
But James has sent us a photo. Frosty's taken the photo. I really wanted a photo of Frosty as well because I've forgotten what he looks like.
Yeah.
But James sent this photo through of himself going for Russia. Like he
looks pretty happy.
He does.
He's a big soccer fan.
He's sadly disappointed that Russia's been eliminated, though.
But he's still flying the flag.
It takes a brave man to walk around Sochi wearing Russian colours when have been eliminated from the... I don't know. I'm rambling.
You are. We're all rambling. Look, we didn't know that there was a bit of Russian collusion going on with James, but it's good to see he's happy. Thank you, James.
I'm sure his head's warm wearing that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like a hat with wings. A Russian hat with wings. Now, Goodwood Festival of Speed. It's taking place as we speak. It's here at the CarsGuide office. Sometimes on a Friday afternoon, when we've finished all our work, Mal lets us watch Goodwood on the big screen here, and we love it. Like who doesn't love watching cars drive up a hill with only hay bales protecting the audience from being,
Dangerous.
Let's face it, it's not usually Goodwood that's on. It's usually sumo wrestling.
Sometimes we have sumo. Sometimes we have
Ninja Warrior.
Baseball.
World's Strongest Man.
Ninja Warrior last week.
We always
was just the
baseball's on one.
fails.
But we digress.
This week we have Goodwood.
This week we have Goodwood, and it's
Not just any Goodwood, the Festival of Speed.
That's right. The festival. It's a very special festival of speed for two reasons. First of all, it's the 25th anniversary of the Festival of Speed. 1993, I think, was the very first one. And at this year's one, the Toyota Supra will be making its debut. It won't just be sitting as a static display. It's going to be racing up the hill.
Yeah.
Up the hill. So, look, I've been waiting for this since I was a child. Well, since 2012 anyway. This is a big
You were
event.
not a child.
I wasn't a child then. I'm
He's
still
arguably a child now.
I'm arguably
he's
a child
more of
now.
a child than he is now.
2012. It's been a relationship between BMW and Toyota. It's finally come to fruition, and we're going to see the product. You've been waiting for this too, Mal. I know.
Too right.
I know you
I
have.
saw the first tangible evidence of this car in Geneva with the GR racing concept, which was done up like a GT3 racer. But the photo that was shown on Twitter this week by Toyota shows what looks to be a production car wrapped in a kind of a disguise wrap. I'd be very surprised if we see it naked at Goodwood because I think we're going to see it in Paris in September.
Yep.
So it's not far off. But nonetheless, we will get to see it moving and hear it, hear that straight six turbo, and possibly work out whether it's got a dual clutch in there or a manual. Or
You just got to
the
see it in
CDF8
traffic.
speed.
You see it in traffic, you'll be able to work out if it's got a dual clutch because it's doing that thing.
Well, as it's edging towards the line on the hill climb, yeah. But fire up your YouTube and whack on the live stream. It's going to be on all weekend. It'll be on at the office tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
We'll be watching.
I'm
Now,
excited. I'm not going to be
you-
sleeping this weekend.
Am I?
Bugger
Are you
you World
excited?
Cup.
Are you
I'm watching
excited?
it.
I'm not as excited as you guys.
What?
Give it a go. Get on board.
Yeah.
I want to know what's the deal with the A90 on
That's
the
just
sticker.
It's a
code.
generational
That's its
thing.
code.
It's just the code?
Yeah, like A86.
So
Oh.
previously,
Yeah, that's so lame.
yeah, A86 is another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they know that, I think it must be the American kids mainly that think of the generation prior as the A80.
Yeah.
Okay.
And technically it was the JZ A80.
Right.
But no one wants to say all those syllables. So
No.
they're going with A80, and before that was A70,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, this one's the A90.
Yep.
Own it. The
Okay.
kiddies
So
talk about model codes.
Good on him.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's BMW chassis.
Yeah, so the
Z-
upcoming Z4,
Mhm.
but with a roof.
Yep.
For now, they're still going to make a convertible.
Oh,
They
yeah.
will. Roadster.
And with a BMW drivetrain
Yep.
co-developed with Toyota. So
Yep.
anything BMW tends to be good. Anything Toyota does lately tends to be good.
It's going to be
And
good
it's
times too.
fast and hopefully arriving here, yet to be confirmed. Hopefully
Oh,
under
exciting.
100.
There's no way that they won't sell it here. There is absolutely.
know,
I would
but
bet my house on it.
Toyota have not.
I don't like to
said
count
they
my
are.
chickens when I'm very
Yeah.
excited.
I know they've said they haven't, but
Yeah.
I think they will.
They would be crazy not to.
I might.
Yeah, I'll say they will for sure, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but not
Officially.
Well, if it does come out 2019, I think we're expecting it to go on sale overseas and hopefully come here. I'd love to see it in our garage.
Yeah, big brother of 86.
Talking of our garage, our car lineup this week has been amazing. I have jumped. On one day this week, I drove in a Suzuki Vitara, and then drove out in a McLaren 720S, and then drove home in an Audi RS4 Avant.
Yeah.
You could say we're having a purple patch.
We are having a purple patch, and I'm lying right in it. It's just it's incredible. Mal, you've had the 720S for quite a lot of time.
Yeah, I spent the weekend with the 720S.
Whoa.
And you'll have to read all about it when the story goes live on carsguide.com.au. But it is a engineering masterpiece. It is fascinating to see up close. It's fascinating to experience. It's a challenge to test on public roads, as in it's impossible to. But
Yep.
I gave it my best shot.
Poor
it's a
Mal.
special car.
Poor Mal.
You
It's a
tell you
very
what,
special
a
car.
Stinger or a 530D is not going to be able to catch it. That's
No,
for sure. Yeah,
Not in the dry.
no.
Not in anything.
What did you think of the 720S?
I had a very brief drive of it
Yeah.
as well. As Mal has alluded to, there were some things that you will need to read about in the written
Things you may
piece.
not expect.
Yeah, things you wouldn't want if you were an owner. But having said that, the smile that it put on my face when I planted my foot in a 100 zone and got from 0 to 100 in less than it
And didn't
less than
exit
it should have
second gear.
taken. Yeah, it's mentally fast. The 0 to 100 is 2.9, and it every day.
Yeah.
It's so quick.
Through two wheels only.
Yeah.
Lambo does
Yeah.
it through 4. Ferrari does it through 2, but through 2 wheels, it's asking so much. It's got so much torque from that 4-litre.
It's got a few of those.
V8.
It's got a few of those little challenging quirks that some supercars tend to have,
Yep,
like
yep.
silly doors and
Yep.
hard to get in and out of,
Yep.
and a brake pedal that
Yep.
doesn't feel like it's made out of anything but wood.
I don't know
couldn't-
about silly doors. They're F1 doors.
The-
They're dihedral. How could anything be dihedral and be silly?
Well, it's also having a twin turbo V8
Yeah.
is the RS4 Avant. It's
No,
Except it's got a 6.
It's a 6.
It's got a 6.
Good segue.
Everybody, hot off the press, it's got a 6. The previous generation had a twin turbo V8.
No, I don't know about V8.
It had
Atmo V8.
Atmo V8, had naturally aspirated V8.
Barry's
This
testing
car-
us.
Very,
Did we pass?
Yep, you got it. You got it. Well done, both of you. Talking. I lost it now. The RS4 Avant. That's
Yes.
been a fantastic weapon in the garage as well. Completely different to the 720S in that it's practical. It's comfortable.
Can I say, Matt here drove it at launch and came back with a huge grin on his face, and I thought, can it be that good? And now we've driven it. Richard, how did you find it?
Loved it. I love
Yeah.
the look of it. It's that wide body's amazing.
We had it in the Nagaro blue, which is a throwback to the RS2
sort of
blue.
this kind of blue.
And
More
a
vivid than that.
and a
More
$5,000-ish option.
Yeah. What was that?
Yeah.
The blue.
The blue.
Yeah.
Right.
And the wheels, the wheels were fantastic.
They
They're
had the-
milled aluminium wheels, which are the most beautiful
gorgeous.
wheels that I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life. Also about
Yeah.
a something $1,000 option.
Pretty fat.
But it's isn't it good?
It is so good. And, the big question is always with this thing, how does it compare with the C63 and the M4? You can't get an M4 wagon or an M3 wagon. But I think in many ways the C63S takes it a step too far for something wearing a 3-point star on the bonnet. I think this Audi is exactly what it should be. It's so comfortable but so fast. It does everything you want it to do.
I was surprised at how comfortable the ride was, even on
Yeah.
the shocking roads around me. Like in comfort mode, but even also in the dynamic mode as well, where the suspension is adaptive dampers are put on their firmer setting.
Yeah.
I found the ride still
And the wheels,
totally livable.
are they 20s?
Yeah.
Those middle
They're
20s?
enormous,
They're
yeah.
big wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, the interior is fantastic.
yeah.
Lovely diamond pattern seats.
But as
like
we
a
said
Lando.
in the office here the other day, these are the conversations we have in the office more often than not. Would you spend the extra 50 grand over an S4 Avant?
That's a completely different
It's
conversation.
$50,000.
There is no way in hell I would be spending $50,000
Yeah.
above that car.
If you wanted to spend $20,000, I've been in a Suzuki Vitara most of the time, and it's delightful. I really like it. Apart from the door trims, which are the cheap. I don't know
Yeah, kind of all
where
big,
you
one
found that
big
plastic Suzuki.
1997,
It's
I think.
it's the cheapest plastic I've ever seen,
It's-
and it's stained. Like not from me, just the plastic itself is. I love the car. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually thinking of buying one. Like Amanda was driving it. My wife. She's like, I really like these. How much are these? Like she likes the size.
Yep.
She likes with the driving
good
position.
package. Yep.
It's $20,000.
And being a Suzuki, there's a good chance it'll still be a Suzuki in 25 years' time.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
And
right.
there's a few things about those doors that I always find really interesting when I drive the
Yeah,
Vitara.
yeah.
Okay, so when you put the window up or down, you can see the doors move in and out with the suction that it creates inside the car. And also, the doors, you have to shut them twice
Yes.
every single time because they're so light.
They are very
like
light
a
doors.
D-Max space cab.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Now, just before we go, we're going to have a quick word from those whippersnappers over at our
here they go
the
again.
young guns at Oversteer. Off you go.
What happens when you put three hooligans together in one room? You get a podcast full of hectic banter.
Hummer is for any rugged man. This manly scent possesses
well,
a blend.
that rules me right out. Jeez.
Stupid stories.
It's a cruise ship with all the inside scooped out, water fills it up, and then you put a pirate ship in the middle. It's nothing more gangster than a ship in a ship.
You're an idiot. And some discussion about cars.
So we've got the K cars as well. What do you guys think? There's this new Honda Sports concept there.
I think it looks so cool. It does look a bit funky, mate.
The Oversteer Podcast on the Cars Guide website, iTunes, and where all good podcasts are sold.
I hate those guys.
He says that every
Have they
week.
passed the
Pay
probation?
attention.
And
I should check that.
Are they? Do we pay them,
can solve a
or do
lot
they
of
just
problems.
come in and do work experience?
I should check that too.
Just double check that.
But great to see we've diversified the talent on that show a little bit in recent
Yeah, damn
times.
straight. I'd bugger the diversification. The talent's improved.
Yeah, it has definitely, and there's some people who you wouldn't have heard if you hadn't been listening.
Yes.
More recently, we've got Rosie and Robin who have both joined in and had their say on the world of oversteer and automotive and all that sort of business. So it's good to mix it up and see different faces and hear different voices.
It absolutely is.
Except for us, we're staying put.
They're much funnier too. Anyway,
Now, talking of hearing different
maybe it's because we
voices,
pay them.
we have got the Ferrari giveaway, the CarsGuide 458 Italia.
Right.
Here
We removed
it
the
is
blue
here.
tack from the chassis.
James Cleary has put a special post-it note on it saying, giveaway prize, please don't steal. Take that off because...
Thank you for everyone to adhering to that message.
We were going to give the CarsGuide Ferrari away to the person who came up with the best comment, either on YouTube or carsguide.com.au, about the CarsGuide podcast. The only comment we've had is from ChimpChamp05, and the comment is just, "Hey CarsGuide, That's the comment.
Thank you, Chim Champ.
Chim Champ, the CarsGuide Ferrari is all yours.
So we'll just have to get in touch with you.
Well, if they could get in touch with us, that would help.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Get in touch
Send
with
us your
Chim Champ.
Send us your deets, and we'll send you a Ferrari.
Or just leave another comment on this podcast.
More than just
We'll get
Hey
in touch with you.
CarsGuide.
And the comment came via which channel?
From our CarsGuide YouTube channel.
Right.
That's the one there. Currently at 47,000 subscribers. Be 47,001. Subscribe. Now that brings us to the very end of the CarsGuide podcast. Thank you, Mal. And
Thanks,
thank
Richard.
you, M4.
Thank you.
You can listen to us and watch us on YouTube. And if you can, please rate and review us. I hope you can join us next week. I don't have a witty sign-off, but James Cleary will be back next week, and I'm
Just
sure we'll
imagine
have one
James.
right now. Are
And
we
it's just
imagining him?
The witty sign-off he would deliver.
Oh, he'd probably say something,
It'd be in Russian because
Russian.
he's yeah.
Because he'd no doubt come back.
He's
just
picked up the
boasting about
language.
his instant Russian.
He would. He'd say something along the lines of, the CarsGuide podcast is brought to you by the Winton Motor Company. It is, actually. Look them up.
The Winton would be happy that we gave him a plug. So
It would be.
that'd be a win.
They do pay us.
You're welcome, Winton.
That was one of their sayings.
You're welcome.
1976.
Isn't it still one of their sakes?
It is. Thanks for watching.